So next we need to create another method that's going to be able to create the email for us. So it's going to pull all the email components together, and then all we will have to do after that is to just send that email over. So let's create this method now. So let's do private, and that's going to return a message, and let's call it create email. And here, this is going to take a few parameters. So the first one is going to be the first name, because if we're sending an email to someone, we need to address them at least by the first name. The second one is going to be the password, because we need to send them the password. And then the last one is going to be the email, which we're going to need to actually send them the email. So the first thing I want to do is to create a message. So I'm going to call it message, and this is going to be new my message. And here it's asking for a session, and you guessed it, I need to give it this session that I created here. So now that I have this message, I can set the other components on that message. So here I can do set from, and that's gonna take the from address. So here I can pass in a new internet address, and then I pass in the from email. And next I can go ahead and well, this throws an exception, so I'm just gonna go ahead and add that exception. And then again, I want to set the recipient, so I'm gonna do set recipient, and then here I want to pass in a new the 2, so that's gonna be 2, and it's coming from Java Mail. And then here I'm gonna pass in the actual email. So here again, for the 2, I'm gonna do internet address, and then here I pass in the email. So I'm gonna do parse, and I'm gonna pass in the email, which is the email that I receive on the method. And I'm not using strict for now, so I'm gonna say false. So all we are doing here is to set the recipient, which is gonna be the 2. So we're saying, hey, we're sending this to someone, and then we parse this email. It's just gonna take it and turn it into a, well, we can take a look so you can see. You see it takes an array here, and then it just parse them one by one. So here, that's what we're doing. And then using strict is, you can look into this like a strict email, but we're not doing this here. But the strict is just making sure that the email address adheres to a certain format, and we don't need to do this here. Next, I want to set another recipient, so set recipient, and this is gonna be for the CC. So we're gonna say that's gonna be 2 again, and here we're gonna pass in the CC email, which in this case it's blank, but just for just for filler, I'm just gonna put it in. So we're gonna do internet address, parse, and then we're gonna do the CC email. And then here again we're gonna specify false. Okay, so next we want to set the actual subject. So let's do, oops, let's copy this message, set it down here, and then we're gonna set the subject. And you remember we had a subject for this, so let's do email subject. And next we need to set in the text. The text is gonna represent the actual string. That's gonna be the body of the email. So let's go in there and let's do hello space, and let's pass in the first name. So let's do first name, another space, and let's do a new line. We're gonna first put a comma here, so comma, and then we're gonna put some new line. Actually, I'm gonna put 2 new line, and then I'm gonna do, so that's gonna be like the title. So it's gonna be like hello, whatever the username is, and then it's gonna go on the next line, and then it's gonna give a space of 2 new lines. So here, let's do your new account password is, and then here we can pass in the password. So we're gonna concatenate the password, and then after that we can also create the 2 new lines. So let's do 2 new lines. just so we can give this some shape, and then we can do the support team just to make it nice. Okay, so that's gonna be like 3 lines. It's gonna be hello, the first name, and then comma. It's gonna go on a new line. It's gonna do your account password is, and then the password, and then on 2 new lines, it's gonna do the put the support team. So next, we can create another, not create, but we're gonna set the date. So set date, and we're gonna pass in a new date. So whatever the date is for whenever this is being sent. And then we're just gonna have to save all those changes and then return the message. Okay, so that's how we create the message. We set all the information on the message. So the only thing that's left to do now is to just go ahead and use this to actually send the email. So anything that calls this method in this class, since it's private and they pass in this information, then we'll be able to send that person an email just like that. Okay, so we'll see you in the next lecture.